Chapter 1 Monster Prehistory Section 1 The Primordial Cosmic Hush. The Multiverse. The universes in this multiverse are all connected on a world tree similar to that of the Yggdrasil of Norse mythology, whose name is the Stablo Mehricha. The multiverse consists of many universes, such as Thingia, the Thumpyverse, the Human World, the Prism Dimension, the Grapefruit Grove, and the Monster World, among others. These universes are born when the flowers from the tree are pollinated. The Thumpyverse and Thingia are the eldest of the aforementioned universes, and have also started to sprout some multiverse-bearing trees of their own from seedlings dropped from the Stablo Mehricha, as have some others as well. The Monster World would seem quite young when compared to those two, but comparatively to the Human World, it is very ancient. The Stablo Mehricha sometimes seeps a sap, which is known to us as amber, or also as the binding magic of the trees. When any being from one dimension of the trees goes into any others, it conforms to that dimension, such as we'll see with Prismatics, Rare Wubbox, Bill, Spirit, and Whizbang. In the beginning of the Monster World... What Monster World? There's nothing here yet. There is only silence here. This time in the 2B Monster World is called the Primordial Cosmic Hush, as it was primordial, cosmic, and silent. Then, all of a sudden, a Big Bang-like event known as the Big Clangor disrupts the hush, sending out a cacophony of sounds furiously, as well as some space dust, that fill the void cacophonously for eons. As a result of this event, 12 beings known as the Celestials are born, guardians of the elements. These 12 elements being, in no particular order, air, plant, earth, water, cold, fire, electricity, plasma, shadow, mech, crystal, and poison. These 12 Celestials, in the same order as their elements that they reign over, are Atmos, Blasum, Tort, Hornicle, Glacier, Furnos, Galvana, Plixie, Ludwig, Vamp, Syncopite, and Skaratar. These Celestials, incarnate forms of elemental energy, are the first inhabitants of the Monster World. The origins of the Celestials are all various and unique in their own ways. I cannot ensure that these are all in the correct order chronologically, except for the first. Furnos, Celestial of Fire and First Celestial, is said to have been forged in the living core of the Monster World, aka the epicenter of the Big Bang-like event. Furnos was then expelled from the world into the stars in a prehistoric eruption. Once settled in the sky, it roared to life, throwing off sparks and casting light down on the world below. Hornicle, Celestial of Water, is said to have been formed directly from that cacophony of sound. Yet throughout the clangor, a wave of harmony swelled, crested, and crashed upon the void, pulling into a placid sea of euphony and starlight, and the living ocean was born. Syncopite, Celestial of Crystal, is said to have been formed from when the very silence of the primordial cosmic hush grew so silent that it was compressed by its own weight and collapsed in on itself, forming a dense, luminous mass. The Syncopite splintered off from the mass, being a living megalith of crystal and rock, exploding and retracting, encapsulating the event for eternity. The rest of the mass formed the magical, time-warping diamonds which appear everywhere around the modern Monster World. Tort, Celestial of Earth, is said to have formed from when the cacophony of the cosmos grew so loud that it formed a carapace to shield itself. It's also said that Tort measures time for all eternity. Glacier, Celestial of Cold, is said to have first manifested amidst a confluence of ice crystals, gravity, and chill vibes. Glacier, along with its drums, marks the glacial passage of time. Plixie, Celestial of Plasma, is said to have formed from when the primordial cosmic hush was still silent. It oozed and flowed in concert with its own internal melody and the nascent rhythm of the universe. Blasum, Celestial of Plant, sprouted from the first cosmic dust sent out by the Big Clangor, burgeoning and eventually blooming. Vamp, Celestial of Mech, spent eons as a sentient, though incorporeal, mass of energy. It eventually decided to put itself together, quite literally, and constructed its own form out of random detritus scattered about the universe. The 4 other Celestials also came into existence around this time, but we do not yet have detailed descriptions of how. Each of these Celestials spread out among the New World and took up residence up among the stars, with each living within the metaphysical space of their own constellation. In this metaphysical state, they resembled compact, egg-like orbs. Connected to the specific areas of their origin and inspired by the constellation shapes about them, each was imbued with their own elemental power. Over time, the prehistoric cacophonic clangor echoing throughout the monster world subsided, and silence took over once more. After some time, the unmistakably deep, sonorous voices of the Colossals were heard. These Colossals, nameless, disembodied spirits of creation, were inspired to harness the power of creation to make the monster world a richer place. Although, nameless wouldn't be the correct term. They do have names, yes, but they are not pronounceable to us mortal humans. As such, a few of these Colossals have been given nicknames so that we may distinguish them from one another. The named Colossals that we know currently are Greenwich, Frigil, Zephyr, Hydrid, Solemn, Zaroi, Ahimsa, Lanista, and Valdi, as well as the Queen Colossal Dulcitea and the King Colossal, who is yet unnamed. These Colossals were amazed by the world that lay before them, specifically the Celestials' elemental affiliations. There was also something else that they saw, too. The emptiness. A blank, and most importantly, silent, canvas for them to work with, to shape to their liking. The first task the Colossals faced was to teach the 12 Celestials to sing. Each Celestial was paired with a Colossal, and the 2 of them would collaborate on finding the best sound and physical form for the Celestial. Greenwich was paired with Blasum, Frigil was paired with Glacier, Zephyr was paired with Atmos, Hydrid was paired with Hornicle, and Solemn was paired with Tort. Each of these pairings, while they may have had disagreements, as all collaborations may, ended successfully, with each celestial spirit gaining a full body that was suited to their custom musical styling. And in return, the Celestials gave the Colossals an interest for their element, so Greenwich would now be known as the Plant Colossal and Hydrid would be known as the Water Colossal, or whatever element they were gifted. Next, the Colossals built a mysterious piece of clockwork for the Celestials upon which they could gather and sing in harmony with each other. This place, called Starhenge, as well as connecting the Celestials together, connected them both to their stars above and their elements below, as it was positioned halfway between the stars and the living core, from which it drew its power to stay levitating. After this great success, the Colossals wished to create a world full of harmonious singing monsters that could be combined of both the influences of nature and music. Now, I think that it's important to distinguish the difference between Celestials and Colossals, with there being some confusion and gray areas on the subject. While Celestials came first, Colossals are the more powerful of the two groups. Celestials are guardians who watch over monsters with their element, while Colossals are the more creatory, godlike beings who are more alien and unknown to us mortals, with their very names being unknown and able to confuse a well-learned individual. Colossals also taught the Celestials how to even make music in the first place, sort of creating the basis for what the entire world was to be. So, yeah, Colossals are the more powerful ones.